Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm here to talk about Arena. Arena is a 1997 game by Czech designer Vlaada Chvatil, published by Alter. I can always count on Vlaada for interesting game mechanics in a legitimately fun game, and Arena does not disappoint on that front. Like most of his games, it's not for everyone, but it's rewarding for its audience. First of all, the game is not at all a Euro, nor does it pretend to be. The game, first of all, comes with 4 decks of over 30 cards apiece. Here you can see the components here. And each card is packed to the brim with tiny numbers and words and statistics and special abilities and conditions and flavor text and all that. This is the Barbarians deck. Here's the card Headbutt, Stab with Sword, Kick. Pretty much, they look like CCG cards. But Arena is not a CCG, or even a CCG wannabe. Instead, it's a neat combat system that makes for a pretty unique, semi-psychological game. There are 2 especially cool things about this game. One is the planning aspect. All these cards you see here, your entire deck of 33 cards, they're all available to you at all times. Most of these cards are combat actions, and on a normal turn, you'll either take any of these and put it into your planned queue, or you'll use the first of your planned actions. So this means a couple things. For one, you can't just instantly do whatever you want. It's a 2-step process. This is, according to the rules, to simulate the confusion and dynamics of actual hand-to-hand combat, and it ends up working very well. You have to, as the rulebook says, stand guard, observe your enemy, try to guess your enemy's intentions, and prepare your attack. Also, even though there are definitely cards that work well together, you can't just unleash power combos left and right, because you need to spend around half your turns planning or preparing in some way. The other thing this means is that there is no luck in what card you have available to you. There's no drawing or anything. Your fighter just has all these capabilities at the ready. This is also thematic. Someone's not just going to learn mid-combat how to kick or swing a sword at some random point in battle, as would be implied in a game with cards you have to draw. The other really cool thing about Arena is how attacks themselves work. Here's a pretty standard attack card called Stab with Sword. You can't see it too well there, but you see a string of numbers there. It says 6 plus 1 to 4 times 2. That's how much damage you can do to your opponent. That 1 to 4 signifies that you can set this die here to any number 1 to 4, and then that will be put into the formula. So if I set it to 4, it would be 6 plus 4 times 2, 14. Then the defender will subtract their defense or whatever other modifiers the cards say, and you'll do that much damage. To try to block the attack entirely, the defender will get some number of guesses based on the card they have active to guess what number the attacker set. So the defender's card might give them 2 guesses against this type of attack. And so they'll guess 3 and 4. If the attacker set either of those numbers, then the defender foresaw the attack and completely blocked it. Otherwise, it goes through and does full damage. This is where the psychological element of the game lies. Will my opponent try for full damage? Will he go in for a sneak attack? Should I guess the highest number to minimize my damage? Should I expect a better chance of guessing something just below the max, or what? The same goes for the attacker. Should I try a full damage attack and hope that something less damaging is more likely to go through? All sorts of things to consider. So this is the coolest game of rock, paper, scissors you'll ever play. Of course, there's non-psychological strategy in this too, with positioning and card abilities changing a lot of what happens. But I personally have found it surprising in this game how easy I am to read, and how hard it is for me to read others. Because of all this, many of the games I've played with this are memorable, and there's frequent surprises and difficult choices. Arena is definitely my type of game. I love asymmetric sides and cards that do stuff and interesting and meaningful decisions. There's low luck, a fun theme, and memorable gameplay. Yeah, this game just provides all of that. If you're averse to lots of special abilities, some potential minor rules hang-ups, having literally dozens of choices available to you at all times, Arena is not for you. The components also aren't that great. Let me show you this stuff again here. It comes with these pewter figurines, which are pretty cool, but Everything else is just kind of a minimal quality production right here. They don't even come with a way to track your health, so I had to make my own condition tracks for this, and player aids and things like that. So if components are really big to you, then this game does not provide that. But if you just want to be thrown head first into an intense melee, or if you just want to experience a unique combat system, then try to track down a copy of this somewhat older game. It's quickly become a favorite of mine, and I expect that I'm not alone. So once again, the game is Arena, Morituri Te Salutant, by Vlaada Chvatil.